I don't know where else to turn. I've been carrying this guilt around for years now, and it's eating me alive. I don't know if posting here will help, but I have to try. Maybe getting it off my chest will give me some relief, even if it's just a little. Maybe someone here will understand. Here's what happened. About 10 years ago, I made a choice. A bad one. A decision that I thought at the time was the right one, but in retrospect, I can't think of anything worse I could have done. And I know it's too late to fix, but the weight of it is crushing me. Every day feels like I'm suffocating. I grew up in a small town, the kind where everyone knows everyone's business. My family wasn't wealthy, but we were stable, and my parents were good, hard-working people. I had a few friends growing up, but one in particular stood out, Sarah. She was the kind of person who lit up a room, always the life of the party. People loved her. She was funny, warm, and incredibly loyal. We had been close since we were kids. We weren't dating, but I guess you could say there was an unspoken bond between us. Something deeper than just friendship, but we never defined it. I always thought she was too good for me, but that didn't stop me from having feelings for her. But here's where it all went wrong. Sarah and I had a falling out. She started dating a guy from another town, some guy named Mike who had a reputation for being a jerk. I didn't like him from the start. I tried to be supportive, but I could see the way he treated her. He'd be controlling, make comments about how she looked, how she spent her time. It was subtle at first, but over time, it got worse. Sarah changed. She wasn't as fun, as carefree, as she had been. She became withdrawn and sad. She started pushing me away, and I think it was because Mike didn't like her spending too much time with me. One night, after an argument with Mike, Sarah called me. She was upset, crying. She needed someone to talk to. I told her to come over. I knew this was my chance to be there for her, to show her that I was the one who really cared. She showed up at my house late that night, and we talked for hours. I didn't have any ulterior motives, I just wanted to be there for my friend. But somewhere during that conversation, things went off course. She leaned in to hug me, and for the first time, it felt like something more. I kissed her. She kissed me back. I didn't stop it. I should have stopped it. But in that moment, I didn't. And I can't explain why. It wasn't just a kiss. It became something else. We ended up sleeping together. The next morning, Sarah was distraught. She was crying, and I could see the panic in her eyes. I panicked, too. She told me that she didn't know what had happened, that it was a mistake, and that she felt like she had betrayed Mike. I agreed. It was a mistake. But I told her I wouldn't say anything. I told her we'd pretend it never happened. I don't even know why I did that. I think part of me thought that if I kept it a secret, everything would just go back to normal. But it didn't. The guilt started to eat at me. Sarah became even more distant, pulling away from me and Mike. She didn't know how to face either of us, and I didn't know how to face her. A few weeks later, Sarah disappeared. She left town without telling anyone, and we all just assumed she went to visit family. But I found out later she had moved to another state without saying goodbye to anyone. She cut off all contact with everyone. I never heard from her again. And here I am, 10 years later. I never got closure. I never told anyone what happened. I've never been able to forgive myself. I pushed her away. I betrayed her trust. And it destroyed our friendship, maybe even her life, in a way. I don't know what happened to her, but I can't help but feel responsible. I've tried to move on, but it's always there, lingering. Every relationship I've had since has been tainted by the fact that I don't feel worthy of love, that I can't trust myself. I'm haunted by the thought of what might have happened if I had just stopped. If I had just been a better friend, a better person. I don't expect anything from this post. I don't think I deserve any forgiveness. But I had to say it out loud. Maybe, just maybe, sharing this will make it hurt a little less. If you've read this far, thank you. I'm sorry for what I did. I'm sorry for failing Sarah. I wish I could go back, but I can't. I don't know what to do now. I don't even know if anyone will understand. But I needed to say it.